I shall also be checking it once just to confirm that it is streaming properly. Okay, is it streaming? I think yes, we are live. Okay, fine. Like this, okay. Just give me a second. Let me just check it once to confirm. Why is it that it never, whenever I try to stream, I never find the streaming that I'm doing, like within just a few minutes or within just a few seconds. I can't confirm that it is ever streaming just right now. So within just a few seconds. Okay, yeah, fine.
There is some echo.
Yeah, no, that was because I was right now. Are you having any echo?
No.
No, that was because I was playing it from my phone just to check the stream. Okay, so yeah, let's start. So yeah, in today's class, we shall be, wait, the screen, I need to zoom it out, zoom it in a bit. Yeah. So in the previous classes, we have had already discovered, or let's say discussed, how we are going to create a MySQL server using MariaDB through the command cell, right? Or the like terminal in Linux system. Now, in the previous classes, we have also discussed basically how we can use the MySQL.connector to basically have our MySQL server, our local MySQL server, and directly SSH, or not SSH, that's a common thing, but basically directly connect to our MySQL server using this dot connect, what do you call this function, like member function of this connector module of MySQL package. Okay. Now, this has already been discussed. In today's class, we shall basically be focusing on uh, here. We shall be focusing more on the SQLite tree, which creates a local database file, and those database files will contain our database tables as well as our different database. Like each database file is our database. Okay, so if you may have multiple database files, okay, databases, and basically you can have multiple tables in each database, and you do the querying and everything in those files. Okay, if that's already we have done in like what I can say, great details. But currently in our today's class, as your CBSE board syllabus was here, okay, as your CBSE board syllabus already asked you that you need to also study the alter, update, order by, delete, and group by. So we shall be understanding all this along with find the minimum, maximum, and sum, and all this stuff in today's class. So let's go. So what are we doing in this particular example here? First, we are again connecting to the local.
Give your intro, who you are. Just like technical.
No. It's a simple class and there requires no intro. Okay. So this is just a recording that I do. I'm not a professional here. I'm not recording it for like views at this point. Okay, if I were recording it for views, that would have been a different editing. I would have been editing this like hell out of this. Okay, whatever. So what we are doing here, we are currently basically connecting to our local SQL database, which is our student.db file. Okay, and we are creating a cursor class. Okay, you do remember, right, while I was discussing that this is not your mouse cursor. Okay, this is a different class, and basically it helps you in various executions, connections, and retrieval of information from your database file. Okay, now what happens, you acha, by the way, you do understand that this assignment is happening, this particular cursor. If I just so here, wait, give me a second, let it appear. If I just have this, okay. I'm going to, this is, yeah. Okay, it's not giving me the string, but whatever. So this cursor class, like cursor object, you can actually have multiple such cursor objects defined in your program. Suppose this is one cursor object. You may have, let's say, cursor 2, okay, or cursor 1, and you can actually just
So
have
is
it
it
like
like the
this.
side pointer that is used in the
Yes,
file programming?
yes, it is just like a file pointer. Okay,
So,
just like a file, it is analogous to it, would be a better term. Okay, now,
what is the meaning of analogous? What do you mean by analogous?
okay, flying of bats is analogous to flying of birds, means both of them are flying, but that doesn't mean that their wings have developed through evolutionary stages the same manner, right? There is a difference in how bat wings like have developed over the millennials and how birds wings have developed, right? So that is why we call as
Okay.
analogous. Now, what we are doing, we are
Okay.
basically again using the cursor to like basically the cursor object to execute a command, which is not a like very new command, which is basically a creation of tables, right? And this is basically, it's asking that create a table if it does not exist already. So if it not exists, and the name of the table is student. Okay. And what we are doing, we are having
The
this
create
ID.
table is not exist. What is the meaning of it?
Basically
Create
create
table
a
is
table.
not
Create a table. Okay, suppose I already
if
have,
there if there is no existing table, then create a table.
no, if,
That is it was saying, right?
yes, create a table if it doesn't exist, correct. So what is the name of
Okay,
the
okay.
table? It
But
is,
if there is an existing table, will it override the table?
uh no, like it's not like that. Okay, it's not like that, that it's not going to override the
So
table. uh it's generally done to handle a lot of bugs. Okay, it basically prevents an error if the table has already been existing. So what happens, suppose a student table, a same table exists before, so there may be different kind of like errors. Basically it might override the table completely, it might not, like these are unexpected behaviors. You can't um, exactly pinpoint how it's going to behave every time. For different system, this actually might render differently. Okay, so that's why we say that create table if it not exists. Like basically if the same table name, say student here, does not exist, then we are going to create a new table. Okay, fine.
fine.
Okay, now after that, what we are doing, we are just saying that basically the ID of the student, okay, the let's say make it roll number or maybe some other ID, registration number, whatever be it. The name of the attribute is ID, okay, and the type of the attribute is integer, and it has been declared as a primary key. Okay, after
Why is
that,
it so?
huh?
Why is that you have assigned the ID attribute to be the primary key? I can assign the name attribute to be primary key also.
Just like your name is Niket Basu, another person's name might also be Niket Basu. Like there might
But their
exist,
ID can be unique. But
but the
their ID
ID,
should be
yeah,
unique.
ID needs to be
Okay,
unique, of course. Yeah,
got it.
yeah. Okay. Oh, give me a second because there might be reverberations using this microphone. Let me just connect my headphones. Okay.
Oh, you have both rockers 5 1 10. Nice.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
Okay. Give me a second. It has not changed. Mm, yeah. Hello. Hello. Yeah. It's fine. So just so that your audio is not like getting picked up by my microphone. That's why I just put my headphones on. Okay, after this, now what we are going to do, if this particular operation is successful, then we are just basically doing a simple print. Also, remember, I always say that to have a separate functions for everything, and this is just to show you like how a workflow generally goes on. Currently, you don't need to follow the functional programming pattern right now here, because this is just an example, but later I would like you to follow the functional programming aspect of it. Okay, so how this functional program will go, I'm going to just say it here as well. So let's go, and suppose we are going to have all these things. Okay, all this basically what can I say this this SQL programming, okay, in a functional aspect. So suppose if I have main, so in the main program, what I'm going to have, I'm going to be having these things. Basically, I'm going to declare the cursor object and all this. Okay. Then if I just copy this, and that's it. Here I'm done. Okay. Then I can have some like function, suppose def table creation, something like that, or yeah, create table. So this one will basically needs this, but I'm not going to do it like that. Basically, I'm going to pass just a second. Okay. I'm going to what's the name of the function that I just, okay, create table. Okay, now here I'm going to pass this cursor object. Okay, so cursor here. Okay, fine. What is this? Okay, there is an indentation error. Okay, weird. Let's see if I just do this. Okay, it will not. Oh yeah, because I forgot to have main brackets. Now after this, done. Okay, so because I'm passing the cursor object there, it also needs the object to be like, basically you throw a ball. Okay, then as you throw a ball, you need to catch the ball as well, right? So I need to catch it as well here. So this is how generally you should have a functional programming aspect. Okay, and this is a better practice to do than whatever is done here, because we are just currently learning how to execute each and every command. You don't need to follow it right now, but later in your programming, like basically in your exams or wherever you are doing, try to follow this pattern. Okay, fine. Now we are going to go here line by line to each and every like basically aspect of it. First, we are going to insert the data. It's very typical that we have already done this in the previous class. So what we are doing, we are taking this ID and setting it to 1. We are taking the name Alice, we are setting it to like basically the attribute name, and we are setting the first row as Alice, and then again we are putting her name, her age, and the marks. Okay, what do we mean by real? Real basically means it can accept float type numbers or values. Okay, fine. Okay, and understand that just like we have already done this, but yeah, so this is a list of tuples. Okay, why do we have this kind of an let's say list of tuples kind of this object? Why? Because then we can just insert all the values, all the rows into the table with this execute many command, because this execute many command helps us to in just one line insert all the data rows or files or whatever be it, okay, records into the database table at a such single command. Okay, so what we are doing, we are basically inserting all these rows into the database table called students. Okay, and basically insert or ignore into this. Basically what do we mean by this or ignore into? Okay, it means it prevents, suppose I have something like this, instead of 3 I again have 1. So there is this there is this primary key duplication error, right? Primary key may get duplicated again and again, so it prevents those kind of collisions. It will just take the first one. Okay. And that's why it's better to use this line um, if you are not using it. Now, one more thing that I want to say, that um, you are understanding how databases work, right? And understanding databases is a very crucial part in Amazon, or let's say AWS, Azure, Microsoft Azure, and then what do we have? Oracle, and all these companies where they are basically dealing with multiple databases. Each and every query, if it gets executed, will take tons of electrical resources like electricity, along with processing power, along with like processing through, let's say, terabytes of matlab, terabytes of information. Okay. And that electricity, that processing power costs some money. So if your query is well optimized for that, for whatever the purpose may be, like here we are doing query optimization. Why? Because we don't want any collisions with the same primary key. That's why we are using this or ignore. Okay, get it? So in real life scenarios, in a real life scenario, they're not the not only efficient, but also error free. Yeah, error free. Correct. Now what we are doing, we are basically inserting into the like table students, till this. And yes, yes. And it's a weird thing. AWS, I'm taking the example of AWS. I can show you the pricing for a real world scenario. Let's so AWS, Amazon Web Services. Okay, it's a calculator. Pricing here. Yeah. Uh, let's not go into that. There will come into the topic of serverless, server. Okay, let's not go into that. Vercel and all this. But yeah, so there are multiple things that you need to know in DevOps engineering. Okay, like how they manage all these different, let's say, pipelines and different workspaces and all this. But let's not get into that. It will complicate your life hell. So that's why I'm just giving you a very simple scenario, which is not the exact thing. Whatever. So just give me a no, I'm not going to get a copyright, because I'm showing AWS's website, and websites are meant to be public. Instead, I'm just like doing publicity for them. Okay. Model. Uh, Free promotion. Well, they don't need promotion from a small person like me. Okay, whatever. Uh, just a second. Pricing model per gigabyte. Hmm. Let's see. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is something like, okay. The API gateway charges. This is 12 months free. This is the free tier. Give me a second. Difficult to find it. Okay, this is something like, oh, this is VMware charges. Okay, at least this is not AWS, VMware. Oh, I did not know this company still exists. This was one of the companies back in 2010s and 2014 and those era, whatever. So yeah, let's just take this guy's example, because it is way more simpler to just find it. See, this is just a example of price changes between Northern California and Oregon. And here, as you can see, that price per GB. Okay, let's say there is one more thing that is, yeah, it is kind of cheap. It is cheap, but what happens when you send the data and what happens when you retrieve the data? The price for retrieval is very expensive. Okay, like 10 times more expensive than the price when you're sending to it. Okay, uh, it's just Good question. That's like, I don't have a clear, yeah.
Sorry, if you start a business, you will do, yeah, you will maintain your database. Why will you give lakhs of money to Oracle to maintain your databases? And when you try to retrieve that, you have to again make payment. Why the heck will you do that, right?
Suppose you're a startup, okay. And as a startup, you need, let's say, in the beginning, at least some terabytes of data, and maybe you did an IPO. Not IPO at that stage is very difficult, but you are always very short on funds. Okay, so what happens that at the initial stage you can't spend a huge amount of money to set up your own server. And understand that it is not like just only you are paying for the storage, you are also paying for the processing power, you are paying for the electricity, you are paying for the cooling of those servers. So basically,
But that paying is much cheaper than to
no, it's
get my database managed by
no, no,
Oracle.
no. It's understand. Suppose you have AWS managing your server. Okay. Now in the AWS, you don't need, let's say, terabytes of data, like multiple terabytes of data. You probably need, let's say, maybe 5 or 10 terabytes, 20 terabytes of data is more than enough for your company. Okay, at the beginning. So if 20 terabytes is more than enough for you, and you basically need how much RAM? Maybe 128 GB or 200 gigabytes of RAM, and that's it. You just need that, and that one will cost you, let's say, somewhere around maybe how much? $100 is a bit too much, probably $50 or 100, yeah, let's say $100. Okay, and as soon in the initial stages you don't need anything more than this. So $100 equates to how much? 8,000,
I
nine
don't
thousand,
know.
10,000. Okay, let's say 10,000. So if $100 is equating to max 10,000 rupees, you are paying 10,000 rupees per month. Now, if you were to buy, let's say, 20 terabyte SSD that you need, a high speed SSD, each per terabyte SSD will cost you upwards of like something 10,000, 13,000, because you need the server grade SSD, and server grade SSD generally cost double the consumer grade, which is yeah, it's around 10 to 13,000. So 13,000 times 20, and that is already more costly, and you still haven't paid for electricity, RAMs, the processor, or anything. So understand, at the beginning of your, let's say, startup, or beginning of your company, it's way cheaper to use a server from AWS or anything. But then what happens, as you
But
scale,
for larger companies,
for
MNCs,
yeah, that's a good question. So as you scale, suppose I am talking about TCS, Wipro, they have a very hybrid structure. They have their own servers. Like they're part some of their own servers, and they have some AWS. No, sorry. TCS have Azure. So a part Azure server, and part of their them have their own servers. Okay. Now the thing is that in this case they try to maintain a very hybrid structure for like faster access and all this stuff, whatever. And this is a very good strategy, because because TCS is a very large company, and they need to process like huge amounts of data. Like they needs to process in terabytes, like probably 100 terabytes of data per month or more than that. Okay, they need to process. So they do need faster servers. So that's why that's where they have adopted a hybrid structure, that they have some servers at home, some they like ship off to Azure. Okay, but there are companies which are totally dependent on AWS. A very good example would be Netflix. Netflix is totally dependent on AWS servers. Okay. And because as they were
oh, why
scaling,
many companies are based, why depending on AWS? Oracle is also good, right?
Oracle is also good. Oracle, like I think IBM uses uh,
Oracle is
some part.
costly.
No, no, not costly. I don't know. You just search it up. Okay. We can do the searches about that a bit later. But yeah, this is a case study where a Netflix is deployed on AWS and all this, their logging and everything system. But what happened that Netflix should have like detach themselves from AWS, because Netflix is a huge company and they have tons of movies and they need to store different kind of let's say
Do
resolutions
they
for
have any
movies.
parent company? Do they have any parent company?
Which one? Netflix?
Netflix. Or it is only the
Uh,
master, or it is the only company. Like
I don't
I'm
know.
saying, is there any parent company of Netflix? Like for example, Google
Search it.
Alphabet is
Yeah,
the Google, but it means Alphabet is the parent company of Google.
yeah.
That's
It is.
why
It is Netflix Inc.
Netflix.
So parent
Oh,
organ.
Netflix.
Sorry.
Anyways.
So whatever. Yeah, they are using this
আচ্ছা এই হাসিটাও কি রেকর্ড
AWS.
হয়ে গেল নাকি তোমার এতে লাইভে?
Yeah, it's there.
ইস, anyways.
It's fine. Whatever. So see, Netflix users. So what happened that they should have like detached themselves. They should have fled away from AWS way earlier. By 2018, 2019, they should have done that. But because Netflix was scaling at such a high level that they were never able to set up their own servers and everything, because they had to focus continuously on improving their content, improving their recommendation system, ad integration, and all this, that they forgot, not forgot, but basically they never got a chance to detach themselves from AWS. But now what happened is Netflix is so large that they now can't detach themselves from AWS, because a lot of the storage is already there. And if they want to set up their own servers, instead of like adding storage bit by bit as they grow, now they need to buy a huge like data center to be able to have the same level of quality that they are still giving. So now they are completely glued to AWS, and basically AWS sucks up their whatever revenue. Okay, a huge chunk of their revenue just goes to pay to Amazon for their services. Okay, it's a very weird case. Okay, you may study it. It's a fun case. It is a fun case
Yeah.
where scaling got wrong. Okay, whatever. So that was just a story that I wanted to tell you. Now, as you know, that we
So,
were just.
can you please repeat one something, that why are you storing the students' database in a list of tuples, other than you can only store it in a list tuple, right?
Oh, this is a list of tuple because I told you now. I want to add all the rows or the records of the table into
Oh,
the.
tuples are not mutable. They can't be added. Okay, got it, got it.
Yeah.
Please.
So no,
Go ahead.
I'm using this kind of structure just so that in one shot I can just add all the information. So I'm
No,
doing
no. So
this.
you can also no. So you can also do nested lists. Why are you using them tuples?
Oh, this is because these information is being added once. Okay, right now. So suppose someone comes here,
Okay.
suppose this is a huge program, okay. And in this huge program, someone comes here and then changes this structure to a list, okay. Means like they have to change this, because if I just change it to the list, then here itself it will give me an error. You need to understand why the
Why?
structure, that the person who gave this idea was gave the idea of list of like tuples, okay. Because what happens in execution, this is, you are seeing that hard coded example, like everything is here is hard coded. I'm not asking the user to enter. So as soon as the user enters different information, the tuple gets created, okay. Then if the user wants to change anything, because as soon as the tuple gets created, it gets pushed into the database table, okay. And if the user wants to change anything, then they have to use the alter table command, okay, this one, alter table command, or update the table command, okay, to modify this particular data, whatever. So that thing they need to do separately. This is why like a lot of the things in this, what they call this, SQL or relational databases, updating information is a bit of a hassle, okay. But if you go, or let's say adding more information which has never been structured as such, is a bit of a hassle,
Means
because
adding one or more extra attributes.
then you again need to add extra attributes. Then the previous rows never had those attributes. Okay, that the issue you can see now, and that's why
Okay.
MongoDB or non-relational databases exist, because they can accept anything. They will literally add an integer to a string and do some random stuff, and they will accept anything. they are like that bag where you can put whatever you want. You can put your uneaten birthday cake, to like random books, to maybe a cow itself, maybe a, burger, maybe whatever you will put into the bag, and that bag will accept it. But SQL is like a segregated recycle bin. You have to put the plastic in the plastic container, and you have to put tin into the tin container. Okay, that's SQL. Now,
So
what
what is
we
the function of this time? Cursor dot execute many.
it adds all these rows into the table or at once.
Then why are you writing these question marks?
Oh yeah,
What is the
good.
function
Yeah,
of this question
this
mark?
actually says that the structure that needs to be followed. Okay, these are basically placeholders. These question marks are called play. Achha, this is an important question. They might give you the command here. What these question marks are called? Okay, that kind of MCQ
No, I
question.
can use exclamation marks also.
No, this is the structure. This is a syntax. You can give anything. Then you need to
Oh,
redefine the syntax, bro. Understand? This is a syntax
okay,
of
okay,
SQL.
okay,
Okay.
okay, okay, got it, got it.
So these question marks are placeholders for the values that are coming from the students, or like a list of tuples wala object. Okay. This is a list of tuples.
Okay.
Okay. Now these values are going
No,
inside this.
one question: why are you not teaching this database to your class 11 student also? It is nothing
Oh, because
much complicated.
no, because class 11 student, they never started the like theory part. So you have already completed the theory. Now you don't need to ask me that what does inserting like basically mean, what is a table, what is a database. You're not asking me questions like that, right? But they are going to ask me
Okay.
questions like that because the theory class were never done for them. Okay, so
Oh,
of course this will be repeated. Now next question is cursor dot commit. So cursor dot commit connection.
one minute.
Yeah.
তুমি কি আমার এই কোডগুলোই ওকে মানে ক্লাস 12 এ যখন ওকে ওগুলো আবার পড়াবে? বল।
Maybe we'll change the examples or whatever. But yeah, it is there.
আচ্ছা,
It is there. It is there in my repo. So yeah. Now,
okay.
uh, I remember during Utkar's, like while I was teaching all the same things to Rick, that time they never had this kind of syllabus that using Python, you need to make the database. They had the databases. So at that time, I used online SQL viewers and all this. Okay. But currently, because you have this part of the like syllabus, so we are using this. So yeah, syllabus has changed a bit, but it is for the
Okay.
better. Okay. Now,
But
this is
Rick is the COVID batch. That is why there is some reduced syllabus for them.
yeah. So then
When
cursor
Rick was
dot
in 12, there was COVID, right?
yeah.
COVID.
So next after that, what do we have? We have okay. By the way, this is connection dot commit. Basically, you are committing all the changes that you just did. Commit means saving the changes. Okay, you understand that, right?
Yeah,
Saving.
we are. This is the same is done in GitHub also.
Yeah, same. Now then what we are doing, we are basically again executing. This is now for the altering table. Okay. So this is the part where we need to discuss from the syllabus
So
is
you are telling me to do functions of each and every operations, right?
yeah.
To create functions, this is a good habit.
This is a good habit. Understand
Okay.
what I'm
Like for
currently
alter
advising you.
table, for
Yeah.
update table, there should be each and individual functions.
Yes, yes.
That's but
Okay, for
okay.
suppose now we want to store another attribute which is an email. So we need to alter the table structure, right? We need to alter the table structure
Let's say
itself.
I have not written the alter table in not in caps. I have written in small letters. So
Hmm.
will it be an
Yeah.
invalid syntax right there?
No, it will work. It will work. SQL doesn't like care about capital or small in terms of keywords. But suppose the table name you change, like table name is permanent. So student is a table name with a small s. Now, if you just write capital S wala student, then that is a different table because capital S wala table is a different way. But if you write
No, but
alter,
there is no restrictions for the restrictions for how to write the syntax in SQL. Right? We should be specific. Alter table is a keyword, right? So we have to always write in caps. then how can Python will recognize that it is a keyword and I have to work according to it?
No, Python is not
There
doing
will be no
anything.
difference.
Understand? Okay, good point. Python here is just a middle layer. Okay. Python is not doing much into this like database. It is just providing a layout for, let's say, a structure or a sequence in which you are adding the commands. Okay. So these are SQL commands. Python is basically being the middleman. He's taking the command from you and he's just giving it to SQL. He's not doing anything.
No,
That's
no,
it.
I'm telling you how if I write this alternative in small, how the heck will here SQL distinguish between alter table and student? They are all similar like letters, right? Right. When we are doing when we do coding, like certain keywords get highlighted
Okay,
like
okay,
that.
okay,
So
okay.
for the
Coding, say, listen. SQL, first of all, understand that you may code in C, you may code in Python, and everyone has their own syntax, everyone has their own logic. Every programming language has their own
logic is
philosophy.
same.
You know,
Logic
every
is
program,
same
no,
for
no, please don't say that logic is same. Unless and until you're talking
understand
about,
keywords.
say,
The prime of
listen. Understand, logic means the core philosophy of addition will never change, but the way each and every integer in Python gets added, the way integers gets added in C differ by the, like, let's say, differ by the assembly level, or let's say register level operations. Okay, do you get it?
that's how.
Register level means
Okay.
at a very fundamental level there is a difference. I was going to give you an example for it, like probably like I was going to make a YouTube video for it later. uh, Basically I'm going to show it this
So do
here.
you use animations in YouTube video using Python?
I might. So see, here there is a if else C code, there is a if else Python code. Okay, so let me just let me first do an execution of the if else C code. Okay, this is written in C programming language.
Okay.
Okay, now I'm doing the Python one.
Excuse me. So what is this scenario one condition two? Anyways.
uh, just understand, अभी वो बाद में डिस्कस कर लेंगे. I shall be making this video later. Okay, as soon as I get time, I want to make this a good video. So uh Python is slow as hell.
Acha, I'll tell you one thing. Are your videos in YouTube ad free? Like your channel is not so big. Like I am not criticizing you,
No,
but your YouTube
no.
not so big. So will there be any ads?
No, of course there won't be any ads. Okay. um so
Okay.
just give me a second.
Ads কত subscriber পর থেকে আসে গো?
I have no idea, sorry for that. Okay, just see, just understand that C is now doing how many iterations. C is processing 200 million. Okay, C is processing 200 million and Python is doing 100 million. Okay, यहाँ तक ठीक है?
ठीक है.
Okay, now for a C program to process 200 million conditions, it took this many seconds, 0.2, 0.3, max to max it took a 0.37. Okay, these are different scenarios where we are checking the differences between if else condition and if condition. Okay, so as you can see that C at most is taking 3.7 seconds. But if you come to Python, even though Python is processing half the number of iterations, okay, half the number of conditions, it is taking about 10, is it 10 times? It is 3.7. It is more than that. It is about 15 times, yeah, close to 15 or 16 times more time, okay, for processing half.
16 এর কাছে 15
Yeah,
বেশি.
yeah, but for processing this half the number of iterations. Think about it. C is doing
না
so.
কেন এটা কেন ভাই?
This is because C is a compiled language and Python is an interpreted language. And compiled languages are very, way faster than interpreted languages. Okay. And this is where
Okay.
the core philosophy comes. that how this let's say the logical difference between addition in C and let's say the low level logical difference for addition in C and Python may actually be different. Okay, but overall you might see that 5 plus 7 will equate to 12 both in C as well as
Is my
in
microphone
Python.
going well?
Yeah,
Is my microphone okay?
yeah, now it's fine.
Because my headphone is switched off. Its battery is very low, so I'm using
uh
my phone's microphone.
yeah, it is way clearer right now. So
Oh, acha.
now understand
So
that
you are
what,
indirectly
yeah,
telling me that my headphones microphone is worse than my phone's.
sadly true.
Okay.
Okay, now see, this capital lettering philosophy is there in SQL and other, what do you call this, mm, database nahi kya बोलते? Yeah, database programming, database languages. So why in SQL capital lettering and small, uppercase and lowercase? Let's use uppercase and lowercase are treated the same.
Siam.
Did I? Okay.
Typo.
Oh, sorry. Oh, whatever. It understood the meaning. So, lettering are generally treated the same, particularly for keywords and identifiers, due to a combination of historical and practical reasons. Okay. It's the kind of philosophy that they have gone into it. So, there are different articles on this. We can actually read up on it. So, it won't take much long. So,
Acha, do you wish to work in any database management systems as an research analyst?
no, no. Mm.
What are you highlighting?
No, it is just saying different things, but I wanted to know why it was made like that. Like historical context, there should be a thing. Yeah. Yeah, doesn't matter if people use uppercase. Yes. Not the most trusted resource, that is Quora, but fine.
Yeah, he can tell you very much about history. He's a dadu, Arthur Fuller.
No, if any, perhaps they have to. For okay.
The picture says he
Let's
has
see.
at least 2 or 3 grandsons.
Yeah. So this is a good line. This convention predates the invention of editors and IDEs. Okay, which were capable of syntax highlighting. Actually, that's a very good point that he has taken. Ah, okay. This actually makes sense.
Who? The dadu.
No, this guy. This
Oh, this
guy.
guy.
So
In
he's a
Arki. He's a father. Oh, Baba.
Malus Veritas. Okay, he literally has 34 million content views. Okay, and he's a master in whatever. So the point that he has taken is this point. The convention predates the invention of editors and IDs, which were capable of syntax highlighting. So the why this point is very important. See, understand, in my IDE currently I'm able to see different colors, right? This cursor is of different color, execute is of different color, the
Yes, because
command.
they're special
But
keywords, right?
yeah, but what happens is the SQL is such an old language. It was probably 1960s or 70s that the guy who invented SQL got a little bit more fame from Bell Labs or AT&T, I forgot. So what happened that during those times in 1970s, 80s, we did not have any of these kind of, like, let's say, so beautiful programming softwares. Okay, this kind of text editors. So every text was done on a black screen and the text was written in a monochrome color. Okay, so you could not differentiate that which one is actually a keyword, which one is a table name. Okay, So suppose someone named the table 1. So how would you understand the difference between the table keyword and the table 1 name of the table? Okay, the only way was to use capital letters for keywords and identifiers, and small letters for any other name or strings that you are using. So this is a convention that then what happened, that even after the let's say in like in not invention but introduction of IDEs and text editors into the market, people still followed the old convention because it is what people were following, it is what books were following, it is what their old senior developers have been following. So it never changed, okay, over time. That's the thing. That's it. That's the only thing I can say. Now next, what happened, what happens here, at least here, is we are going to basically just print the things that we have just added. Okay, now oh no, actually not here, we are going to print it later, group by, yeah, we are going to be printing it later, but currently we are just saying that okay, our email has been added. This is just like if this this one has been successfully executed. Okay, now what happens after this? Basically we are doing and updating the information into the table, because after you altered the table, now what should be there will be one more space here. So there will be
Yeah.
a record of, let's say, 1 2 3 4 5 like 5 attributes, and the 5th attribute is the email. Okay, now what do? You need to update the email for Alice, for Bob, and other people. Okay, but because this email that you can see was never said that email cannot be not null. Do you know the attribute called not null? That not null attribute was not added to it. Means email could be null. Means there could be records where there is no mention of email. Okay.
Means there should be no mandatory that every student has an email ID, right?
Currently it is not. You may add it by the keyword not null. Okay, then you need to suppose, then what happens? Okay, understand here. If you add the not null keyword here, and it will basically ask that okay, if it is not null and it needs to be altered into the table, then in the table there already contains 5 records where there is no mention of email. So the email has to be defaulted to some value, right? So SQL probably will default it to 0 or some garbage value, but you can do then, you can write default, some example dot gmail.com as example dot email.com. Okay, example
So
at
can you please
email.com.
run the program so we can see that?
Yeah, we can see that. I wanted to run it later, but okay, fine. Wait, deprecated. Wait, I am inside the Python. Oh, system. Fine. Let me run it. Okay. Why was I inside the interpreter suddenly? I don't know. So here we have created the table successfully, as you can see. This is the first printf. Then we have added the email column, which is here. And basically we are
But
updating the
why are you
emails.
doing it predefined? Like also cannot add. I don't want to add email, so there should be an
Mhm.
option to add email like that. You are doing it all predefined.
No, we are currently, so I'm showing it as a hard-coded example. If you want to do it like without an hard-coded example, create a function. Say, okay, let's create a simple function here itself. Uh, let's say email here. Okay, so def adding email. Okay, so then, so this is how you should do it. Basically, you will take, suppose in the main function, where is it? Yeah, so in the main function, if you just, or you can do it in the menu function. Okay, whatever be your choice case. Okay, you can just have name equal to str input, enter name. Okay, so this is how you do it. Basically, you ask the
But
user for each
okay.
and every information. Then for
Yeah,
here
yeah, that is
we
I
are creating
agree.
an add email. Then here where we created the function, you basically just put the email and the name in the proper SQL syntax. Okay, fine. Do you get it?
Okay.
कोई दिक्कत कुछ problem?
Nahi.
नहीं, right? So I'm showing this as an example or a placeholder that how you should be doing it, but these functions can be created anytime. You already have done multiple functions right now, so don't be afraid of making more functions. Okay, now
Okay.
after this what we are doing, we are understanding the next thing is order by. Okay, so what is order by? Order by basically means suppose you want to get the information from the table here. Okay. But you want to order it in the ascending order or descending order of marks. Okay. So if you want to order the ascending order of marks, so basically David person has scored the least number of marks. Okay. So here, if you just run the command, okay, for row in the cursor object, you execute this, that select star from student where order by marks is in ascending. Okay, so if you just execute this command, then you are printing the row by row data that is being fetched by the cursor object. Okay, understand what happens? So if I just simply just take this control C, and if I have print, let's say something. Okay, so I'm going to say printing the command. Okay, done. Now if I just run this, see, I'm going to get an error. Current, no, wait, this error is not because of this. This is a syntax error. Give me a second. Did I miss a bracket anywhere? Okay, give me a second. This is probably because
Okay.
of. Okay.
Uh,
Mhm. This is here, here. Okay. Probably not an error because of that. Let me just delete this part. Just run it now. Yeah, this would be the error. I was thinking like what? That's a different error. Yeah, fine. Now why? Okay. Now this error. What is this? This is SQL operational error. Okay. So remember the try catch. Remember, like in the previous classes,
yeah,
we
yeah.
so when you get this error,
Try
it basic.
except.
Yes, try and accept. So try catch की बोल रहा हूँ. So catch is from a different
Try and
language.
accept.
Yeah. Try and accept. I'm doing Python. I'm doing not doing another language. Okay. So nothing is that. What was I going to say? Yeah. Mm, okay. If I do a like simple printf, you might ask that why am I not doing a simple printf? Okay. This kind of execute instead of like just having like uh, क्या बोलूं, instead of just like having a simple list object, why am I not having why am I not doing it like this? Okay, because what happens that SQL, when you run a SQL query, it will return some information, right? And what type of information does it returns? That's the point, because it will return a table, and this table cannot be understood by this simple printf structure. Do you get it?
Acha.
and it will basically
Why
return
if it will be not printed in the wave structure using a
bec-
string?
because this thing will return a cursor object. If I just do a type operation here, so instead of like
So what
executing
is
this
this
command,
type operation?
type is a function which basically tells me what kind of object इसके अंदर क्या है. ठीक है, एक बार देख लो. तो आई डोंट नो इफ इट्स
Data
इफ नो,
area.
या ये एक्चुअली एग्जीक्यूट करेगा, उसके बाद टाइप देगा मुझे. सो इट्स बेटर आई डोंट लाइक execute it like that. Okay, because it basically it returns me a cursor object which is not a not a list of rows. Okay.
So cursor object is a like how it can return a cursor object.
Hmm. इट विल बेसिकली कर्सर ऑब्जेक्ट तो भाई वैसे डिफाइन किया है कि ये क्या रिटर्न करेगा. फिर तुम उसको जो है कर्सर ऑब्जेक्ट से तुम जो है सब कुछ लेते हो. ठीक है. सो सपोज आई एग्जीक्यूट दिस कमांड. ओके, एंड इट रिटर्न्स अ कर्सर ऑब्जेक्ट, बट इफ इंस्टेड ऑफ लाइक एक सेकेंड, ये यहाँ पे क्या आ गया, यहाँ पे ब्रैकेट है, यहाँ पे ये क्यों है भाई, 2 सेकेंड रुक जा. नाउ wait, it is the yeah, here. So if I just have, what was the command here? Fetch all, right? Fetch all. So if I just use the fetch all member function of this cursor object, I should, okay, probably it's I have to first do it like this. Suppose I have something like what do I call this, jack, पता नहीं ऐसे ही लिख रहा हूँ. ठीक है, तो जैक को दे दिया. Okay, Control Z. I need to copy all this stuff. Give me a second. Give me just a second. Control C. Control V. So it will return me a cursor object here. Now if I just do why is it there? Why is there a bracket here? Now if I do something like jack dot fetch all. ठीक है. Now if I just run it, ये कहीं पे क्या मैंने कुछ रो लिख के रख दिया क्या? Just a second. कहाँ पे कर रहा था? या cursor dot execute select row, इसको ले रहा हूँ. Oh no, I don't need this. So I don't need this operation here. It will just execute it. Then if I just have so I can just have something like execute हो गया. So execute होने के बाद I need this to be stored in an object, right? So I can just have something like jack equals to cursor dot fetch all, and as soon as I fetch it, then only I am going to get all this stuff. So I don't need it like this. I can just have type of jack. चलो इस बार देख लेते हैं. Is this, which line is it that I'm getting as an error? Okay, why is there an error here? Did I mess up the comma or anything here? Execute the students. What is an error here? The syntax is correct. Let me just wait. Am I missing out the syntax? Give me a second.
Okay.
Syntax should be correct. Yeah, syntax is correct. Comma, comma, comma. It's fine. It is ending here. What is the error? Student has 5 columns, but 4 were supplied. 5 columns, but 4 were supplied. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's 4. How is it getting 5? Okay, no. 5 columns. Yeah. Where is it? 5 columns? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 ही तो है. इसको 5 कहाँ से मिल रहा है?
ইমেলটাও তো আছে।
ইমেলটা তো পরে অ্যাড করলাম না. Oh, wait. Is it because of this where I'm doing? Wait, let me just. Oh, wait. I was making this function. कहीं पे मैंने function ये तो नहीं कर दिया ना. Okay, let me just run it again. Oh, okay. Get it. Somewhere here I'm getting this error. This is execute menu. So what is this? Search. Okay. The only thing that I can say that I can explicitly mention where what I'm going to insert here. So ID name is marks. We do it like that. Yeah, now the error is instead of insert, it is giving me the alter error. Yeah, of course, there is this what duplicate email. Okay, let's see. Where is the duplicate email? Duplicate column email. Okay. Email. So where am I doing it again? Here. Oh, okay. That's the issue. SQL does it by being not null or what? If you alter a table, the default value. Okay, let's see. So if we alter a table, then the default value an existing column, yeah. So this is what we can do. Add default sadness for okay, कुछ ऐसा करके लिख देते हैं. Copy. So here, if we see what we are doing, add column. So add column email text. What reconnection successful? What was it? Was there an error? Currently, I have no idea. Was there an error? Okay. Okay. Yeah, we are live. We are currently live. So all the table. Just give me a second. Let me just fix this.
ওকে।
Default, I think I can add example @ mail.com, and after this, here. Let's see. There is a comma. Should be side brackets. Fine. Okay, I'm going to just say it as null right now. Okay, fine. What's the issue here? Where is this from? Okay. Alter the table. It's fine. It's giving me the duplicate, but I have already added the default as null. So what could be the issue? Earlier it was executing perfectly here. Like here we were having no issues. What happened suddenly? Did we change it like along the way, did we change it somewhere that we can't understand? Where did we change it? Because see, I was running the same code. Where did we change it? I'm just going back to the earliest iterations possible. No. So if I just go to the first iteration, then after the first iteration itself, we are having an issue. What is happening? That's a very weird thing. This is weird.
মানে এখানে বলছে এমন একটা তোমার কলাম আছে যেখানে তুমি কোনো নাল রাখতে পারো না, বাট নাল আছে।
হ্যাঁ, but the thing is
আমার
that
মনে হয় তুমি ওই কন্ডিশনটা দাও না, তোমাকে তখন সেই বলছিল না ইমেল যে না না মানে নট নাল একটা কন্ডিশন আছে, নট নালও রাখতে পারি বা মানে ইটস
yeah,
নট কম্পালসারি, আমার তুমি ওই কন্ডিশনটা দাওনি।
no, that is true, but I have already given it because currently, wait, let me show you. It was where it was. Yeah, here, alter table. Okay, so alter table, as you can see here, if I add one more field, I need to have something to populate it, right? So I populated it with these values, but currently I have not added the like what do you call this keyword, which is not null. Okay, not null. This I have not added. That means it could be null. So that's why I can also add the thing as default null. Okay, I can add it as default null, and now this is giving me this error, which is weird. Table has still trying to understand what is this, and basically why is this error.
ইমেল যে অ্যাট্রিবিউটটা দিয়েছো ওটা কি আদৌ মানে ওর টাইপটা কি ইন্ট? ওখানে মানে ভ্যালু অ্যাসাইন এ কিছু গন্ডগোল হচ্ছে? যেমনি তুমি সবকটা যেমনি ডেটা টাইপ তুমি যেমনি অ্যাসাইন করেছিলে, মার্কস ইন্টিজার, মার্কস রিয়াল, ওই জায়গাটা আমার মনে হয় ভ্যালুগুলো নিতে পারছে না।
No, মানে হওয়া উচিত নয়। ইনসার্ট এটা তো এই লাইনটা, রাইট?
ও আরে তুমি ওখানে 1 2 3 4 5টা কোয়েশ্চেন মার্ক লাগিয়ে দাও।
1 2 3 4টেই তো আছে ভাই। There are only
কিন্তু
4.
ইমেলটা তো ঢুকবে না, ওর জন্য তাহলে প্লেস ভ্যালু ফাঁকা রাখো।
Okay, let's see. If I just go and just add a question mark here, you are saying me to add it here. No, it's not that, because see here itself there are only 4 attributes. Okay, so like suppose I can also mention the attributes here. So in the student like into the table here, I can mention the attributes here as id, id, name, and age and marks. Okay, I can mention it here, so there should be no issue with that. Okay.
সেটা তো ঠিক আছে।
So if I just do it like this, then also I'm getting this error. Which line again? Same line, right? 30. This, no,
Line 30, not
Oh,
same line.
no, this is now this line. So alter, add, column, email has added. So this is fine here. What's the issue here? I don't know. Just give me a second. Let me just alter. I'm adding the column. Fine. Is it that I have added email column anywhere? Oh, okay. Now I get
কি?
it. It's a okay. I forgot this thing because we are connecting to the same database. Okay, so this is a very what do you call this error that took me some time to catch. So yeah, okay. So this is see, like I'm telling you, what's the issue? Remember, it actually ran perfectly the first time, right? So
Yeah.
so the issue is this database has already been created. Okay, means it already has the table. It already has the table with the email column. So basically you need
আচ্ছা
to,
আচ্ছা
if I just simply delete it, then if I just go back to my code and run it, then it will run perfectly because this is the first time the whole database was created. Okay, do you get it?
আর ও সেকেন্ড টাইপ তো টেবিল অলরেডি এক্সিস্ট করে ওই জন্য ওরা নতুন কোনো টেবিল বানাচ্ছে না।
Yeah, it not making a table, but because this insert operation will not work because now the table has already been altered into a 5 column table, right? That's why these things
হ্যাঁ
were not working. That it was taking me such a long time to even understand that why suddenly, because previously I was running it and everything was like basically working fine, and I forgot that I'm connecting to the same database. Okay, and because the database has changed right now. Okay, this is a very kind of what silly error which took me too long to even understand. Sorry, my bad. So now, where were we? So
in
update हो गया,
ascending and descending order.
descending order. Okay, so yeah, ascending and descending order. We can execute this line. I was going to show you the type of the cursor object, and I was getting errors in that. Wow, nice. So let me just go ahead and delete the student database again.
না না এটা কি প্রত্যেকবার এরকম করবো ডিলিট করবো এটা there is no permanent solution to this.
Of course, there is a like basically you need to make it more dynamic. You need to understand that I am giving you an example where you're ordering by, and all this is fine. But as soon as you do the altering table, okay, in the next database you cannot have this insertion operation because this insertion operation currently is hard coded. An insertion operation, if it is hard coded and then there is an alter option, then this insertion option must not be done in the next case. Okay, and this alter table
Okay.
must not be done. So basically I can just have this commented out. That's what I'm saying. Maybe it would have been better if I had used it in a Python notebook, because Python notebooks are way more flexible in this kind of things. Okay, so what I was going to show you is basically this cursor object. Okay, that took me that we digressed a lot just to show this cursor object. So I can just have print f, then basically I can just have this command, control C, control V. Okay, now if I just do it like this, and then where is it? Yes, this is it. See this is what it is printing.
দাঁড়াও হ্যাঁ কার্সার অবজেক্টটা কি বলছে
Because it is the cursor object na, so you need to, and this is a cursor object at some particular index. So this index is a Python internal handling thing, which is not exactly the physical address, but it returns me like something similar to a pointer. Do you remember pointers in C?
না কি করে মনে হয় ক্লাস 8 এ সেই পড়িয়েছিলে
Okay, so pointers in C are basically like you live in your house, right? And there is an address. Suppose I don't know you. but I know your address, that I can go to your like a house and teach you there, right? Teach the SQL there, but I don't know you. So instead of knowing you, I know your address. So basically here, instead of knowing the exact table, it sends a reference to the table. Okay. Now, if I just do a type of this type, and this time, see, I'm not going to delete this what they call this student db, but what I am going to do, I'm going to just basically comment out these operations. Okay, these operations, and that's it, because these operations will create an issue when they are going to be run again. Okay, there is some error in number of brackets. Okay, this bracket, so then there was an extra bracket. Okay, fine. Now see here, this is giving me a type of okay, why is it like outside of, that's why there is
No,
an
just tell
error.
me one thing. What does the function cursor.execute do from select from student order by marks? So, like it prints the mark, it prints the database in ascending form.
See,
Cursor.execute select from student order by marks ASC.
no, it returns a cursor object. See, it says that this is belonging to a class of SQL tree light dot cursor. This type, as soon as I like write type, you know, like what happens when you do print let's say type of something like a. Okay, a, where a is like you define it earlier, a equals to, let's say, 10. Okay, so if you just do it like this, then type of a, okay, I forgot the brackets. Hi Bhabi. Okay, now let's run it again. So basically this is belonging to the class int.
No, সেটা I
So
got it.
hmm.
Now just tell me one thing. What does the cursor.execute select from the student order by the marks ASC do?
Oh, this whole thing returns a cursor object of the query that you just passed. If you pass a query, which is the query is select star from student this thing, and if you pass the query to your SQL tree live server, which connects to your database, and inside the database you are doing this, you're running this query over the table students, and as soon as you run the query, you are going to get some output from the SQL, right? So this SQL's answer is enclosed in a cursor object. Okay, and that cursor object gets dereferenced here for row in the cursor object. Okay, get it?
अच्छा अच्छा
And that dereferencing के बाद उसको print करना पड़ता है हर एक row को. समझ में आया?
आया
Okay, now after this we are going to just delete a record. Which record we are deleting? We are deleting the record of David. Okay, and we are committing the changes here.
Hey, name double. There should be double equal to David. Name double equal to David.
No, this is the syntax for SQL, not for your
No, we
Python.
are not assigning name equal to David. We are checking inequality. We are checking the equality, right? Name equal to, like if the
That is the logic of Python. That is the syntax of Python. We are not doing
we are doing Python
inside.
only.
We are running the code. These codes delete now. Delete from student where name equal to David. This code is for the SQL. Remember, in the SQL, if I connect to my SQL server like sudo mysql this thing, okay, then I go into the like, give me a second.
Yeah, you are live.
Yeah, so what? And I forgot my
So
password.
what,
Nice.
মানে
Just a second. Okay.
স্যার দেখে শুনে করো বাবা, অবশ্য তুমি জানবে।
No, this is my local like SQL. Okay, so it's fine. What was it? Do I remember?
You forgot your password.
Yeah, probably I forgot what I like picked it. It was not. Okay, I have to check it. What was the? Oh, wait. It's not forward. It's not. Can't connect. Sorry. I need to basically start it. Start Maria DV. Sorry, I did not look at the error, which I should have. So it's now has started. Now let me just go and connect. Yeah, now I can connect. Okay, so this is my MariaDB local, what do you call this, local server. Okay, now understand that here whatever command I'm going to write here, let's delete something like this. Okay, these commands are totally pure SQL commands, right? But what you are doing here, you are having a Python wrapper around an SQL command. So this is an SQL command. Do you get it?
ঠিক আছে, got it.
Okay, now what we are going to do next, basically after all this, we are at the end almost. We are going to understand the group by and aggregate functions. Okay, so what does group by and aggregate do? Okay, so see, in this particular example, we are going to select. Basically, select is what kind of operator? Projection or selection operator? Select is projection or selection operator, like analogous to in the relational algebra? That's my question.
কি বলে আবার বলো, repeat.
The select keyword is a projection or a selection operator in relational algebra.
ভুলে গেছি, মাথায় নেই, পড়তে হবে।
If you are not studying, then I can't do anything for that. Sorry, but you have to
আরে
study
না না,
all this
থিওরিটা
stuff.
আমার পড়তে হবে। তুমি তো আমায় বলেছিলে কম্পিউটার নেটওয়ার্কিং পড়তে, গিটহাব খুলে দিই, কম্পিউটার নেটওয়ার্কিং এর কিছু জিনিসপত্রই নেই।
Matlab, just ask me. Okay, give me a text on my WhatsApp that I haven't uploaded. Just give me a text. Okay, you will probably receive an email with the notebook, so it's fine. Now, see.
না না, আমাকে I have not received any email of your notebook. I have not received any email.
Check your. I just shared it. Just now I shared it. Give me a
আমার কাছে
second.
কোনো মেল আসেনি কিন্তু।
Mm,
তুমি দেখো তুমি মেল আদৌ পাঠিয়েছো কিনা।
পাঠিয়েছি। Just a second. কোথায় গেল? Uh, whatever is it? Let's check if I haven't sent an email. Yeah.
I'm checking my mail.
Check it on your notebook LLM. Check it on your notebook LLM. It should appear there. Okay. I have shared it.
নোটবুক এলএলএম কি কোনো অ্যাপ নাকি অ্যাপ্লিকেশন আর নোটবুক এলএলএম এ?
No. You just need to search Google for notebookllm.google.com and you will just
Okay,
go.
okay.
I think I can
Okay.
send the link here. I don't know if the sharing the link will work because
না
you can
কিছুই তো
probably
দেখাচ্ছে না এখানে। আমি তো পাঠাচ্ছি, কিরম দেখাচ্ছে দেখো আমাকে।
send.
আমাকে এরম দেখাচ্ছে, দাঁড়াও তোমার হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ এসএস পাঠাচ্ছি।
Okay, yeah, I just received. Gain you understand? Yeah, just create. Go to your notebooks. Okay, go to your notebooks and see. Just click on create a new notebook
Go to
or
your notebooks or your notebooks বলে তো।
Acha, click on the link that I just shared. Click on the link.
Click on the link. Okay, দাঁড়াও।
Yeah, this is the same link. So yeah, it will work.
হ্যাঁ পেয়েছি।
Yeah, is
চ্যাটও
the
করা যাবে।
yeah.
অডিও ওভারভিউ আছে।
Okay, good. Everything is working
কিন্তু
for
একটা
you.
জিনিস বল, আমি তো লিঙ্কটাও দেখতে পাচ্ছি না।
On the oh, this thing. Click here.
আরে দাঁড়াও 1 মিনিট। হ্যাঁ কি করে খুলে এটা দেখো এটা দেখো কোথায় খুলে।
Here. Mind map. Click on the mind map.
ক্লিক অন দ্য মাইন্ড ম্যাপ। মাইন্ড ম্যাপ, দাঁড়াও। এই মাইন্ড ম্যাপের তো কোনো অপশনই নেই।
On your
কি
phone.
হাউ আর নেটওয়ার্ক কি
See.
দেখাচ্ছে?
Yes.
ও
Yeah.
মাইন্ড ম্যাপ
Yeah.
পেয়ে গেছি।
Good.
আরে দাঁড়াও। ও হ্যাঁ গট ইট। ঠিক আছে, কিন্তু আমি আগে কিছু একটা চ্যাট করে ফেললাম এর সাথে, তো কি উল্টোপাল্টা ভাবছে। তুমি আমাকে এডিটর কেন বানালে বলো তো দাদা?
Okay, it's fine. You can
আচ্ছা
do
যাই হোক,
like
ঠিক আছে,
chat
আমি
with
দেখে
it.
নেবো।
Okay. Now let's go
ঠিক
back.
আছে, ওকে।
The last thing that we are going to do is basically understand how aggregation of different attributes work, and basically how we can just basically group by our results. Okay. So select is actually a projection operator, means over the table you are particularly projecting the whole information onto a selected particular uh, row, or not row, sorry, columns. Okay. So
ওকে,
what are you doing here? You are actually selecting or basically projecting age, and then you are doing this count star. Basically means all the number of rows. Okay, so if you just go to the okay, let me just run it again. See here, count. Okay, it is doing age, count star, minimum marks, maximum marks, summation of all the marks, and average of the marks from the student table, and it is grouping by age. Okay,
but tell me one thing, you have to like import the math module to do such mathematical
I
operations.
told you, you are running it for the SQL. You are not doing it inside Python.
Oh,
Python
okay,
is just working as an intermediator. You are giving the command to the
okay.
Python, and Python is just taking it. Instead of opening the command, it is just transferring it to SQL. Okay,
আচ্ছা, got it.
Python is
So
not
then
doing
tell me one
anything.
thing, why I am not the getting the user interface of a database? Like, where are those columns like we get in Excel sheet? We are not getting that user interface of a database like that we get in Excel.
Who told you that Excel is actually a database? It is a spreadsheet
No,
software.
actually,
It is a
are
spreadsheet software.
expensive now. We see for a bank stuff for a
Huh.
bank's manager,
Uh-huh.
uh, they have to get a user interface, right, to operate the databases. So through মানে কি বলবো, মানে আরে ওটা কি বলে, oh,
I
like
understand. I
not this
understand. You are just too tense because you are just doing it on the terminal. And in real
হ্যাঁ
life
মানে তুমি আমাকে
scenarios,
একটা কথা
yeah.
বলো, একটা ব্যাংক ম্যানেজার কি এরকম টার্মিনালে বসে বসে জিনিসপত্র অ্যাড করবে নাকি?
No, no, but in the like early 1980s, they used to do it on the terminal. At those times, there existed none of this GUI. Okay, graphical user interface. So
আরে
there,
হ্যাঁ,
everything,
গ্রাফিক্যাল।
yeah, everything has to be done on the terminal in those days. But what happened that as we like slowly progressed, GUIs were developed. Of course, there are GUIs for SQL3 Lite and
So
GUIs
why
for
are
all
you not
this.
using the GUI thing?
Currently in your syllabus you have to understand the terminal based all this outlook, and as you basically get acquainted with this terminal stuff, you will be introduced to GUIs later. Okay, but
Okay,
you know what,
ঠিক আছে।
in development GUIs come at the last moment when like development of softwares, let's say algorithms. Okay, the algorithms are basically made first, then they work on the GUI, or there is a team working on the front end GUI in parallel with the back end people. Okay, and what your syllabus currently delves into is in the back end. Okay, in the back, how everything is running. Do you get
Okay,
it?
okay, got it.
So yeah, that's how much we are going to cover in today's class, and this basically covers all these things. Okay,
আচ্ছা, can you please stop the live?
yeah, I can. But
আরে আমার একটা
let
কথা আছে।
sure, sir. So let me just see. CSB will be done
এই
later.
one minute, ভাইভা ভোজটা কি? ভাইভা ভোজ?
Yeah. This basically means your what oral examination, like your like what you call speaking capabilities, your answering capabilities. Okay.
এই না, এক মিনিট, কম্পিউটারে তো এসব কি, কম্পিউটারে তো প্র্যাকটিক্যাল পরীক্ষা হয়, আর এটাই তো হয়েছে ক্লাস 11-এ।
No, basically the teacher will ask you questions and you need to answer it. There are only like 3 or 4 marks. Yeah, 3 marks allocated to this.
তো ভাইভা ভোজ মানে কি? ভোজ, হোয়াট ডু ইউ মিন ভোজ?
The actual pronunciation is not Vos. Okay, the actual pronunciation I forgot.
হোয়াট ইজ দ্য
Give me a
অ্যাকচুয়াল প্রনাউন্সিয়েশন? টেল মি।
Yes, give me a second. I need to search it up.
Bruh. I couldn't hear it.
How do you pronounce these a word? So in Italian, indeed, you say it as voce.
1 মিনিটের pronunciation video
Voce.
বাবা
Voce. Okay, so viva voce.
হচ্ছে
Yeah.
দরকার নেই তুমি ব্যাকে যাও তুমি নিজে স্ট্রিম অফ করো
Okay, so okay. Okay, this is probably the end for this particular part, but let's see that how much of the syllabus we are left with. Okay, we are left with computer networks, and we have
আচ্ছা, আমাদের একটা
already
জিনিস বলো, আমাদের
done all
কি
this.
বলে না 1 মিনিট দাঁড়াও, আমাদের ইলেকট্রনিক্সে তোমার ফিজিক্সে দেখলাম তুমি লাইভ কি অফ করেছো নাকি এমনি বকে
No,
যাচ্ছ?
live is here. Okay, let's
আরে
turn off the
লাইভটাকে অফ
live.
করো না।